How's it going, gamer? Hope you guys are having a great week. My name is Q, and thank you for stopping by the channel. I hope everyone has had a great Thanksgiving week, and I've been kind of busy with family and work, but I am back with a quick video. This video is going to be an unboxing of the Amazon Luna controller, as well as some off-screen kind of video footage of me playing some of the games on a mobile device. Amazon Luna is available on the PC and mobile devices, but for this particular video, I'm going to do an unboxing of the controller. I've had the controller and Luna for about 2 weeks now, so I've been playing around with the streaming service. So here in this video, I want to kind of give you guys, the viewers, kind of like the unboxing of the controller and my impressions of what it is. So when you buy the Amazon Luna controller, it actually comes with a mobile clip as well, so you can clip either your iPhone or your Android device. And then when you get the packaging, it's actually in a really nice packaging, minimalistic, but definitely very well put together. It doesn't look like if you ever purchased third-party controllers, sometimes it doesn't look premium, or it doesn't feel premium. This one actually feels like a premium product. So as we unbox the controller, it's kind of like in a trapezoid looking type box, but it opens up very similar to the way the Series X opens up. From a presentation standpoint, it's for unboxings, it's definitely catered to that, right? So the first thing you guys might know by looking at the controller just from pictures, it looks like a clone of the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, but actually once I got to opening the controller and then actually handling it, I would say it's more similar to the Xbox controller than the Switch controller. So here we take the controller out of the box. I've been playing around with just the buttons and the thumbsticks, and the thumbsticks are actually concave, very similar to the Xbox style controller. It's an asymmetric control scheme, so it's not like the DualShock or the DualSense where the two joysticks are close to each other. I do like the asymmetric style, especially for first-person shooters and just adventure games. But one of the interesting things is like it is the controller does come with AA batteries, so it doesn't look like there's an ability to put a charge pack in there. So the USB-C port on the controller is so that you can physically connect it to a PC and run it wired in for communications. But yeah, just like the Xbox controller, you need batteries. And going back to just the feel of the controller itself, it's actually really nice feeling controller. There's some textured on the back side, so it gives you a nice little grip feel. But yeah, from my personal impressions of it, it's like if you married an Xbox controller with a Switch controller, Pro controller. So the feel of this feels exactly like an Xbox controller, and the one thing that they took from the Switch is just the visual design of the Pro controller, where at the handles it looks like it's kind of like a separate modular piece, but it's not. And it actually feels, like I said, it feels exactly like an Xbox controller, especially when you're holding it and you're looking at where the triggers are and how the handles of the controller actually grips right underneath your middle finger when you're holding it with both hands, and your middle finger is right underneath before the triggers. So it's like I said, if you guys enjoy holding like an Xbox controller, this will be very natural to that. It has a very curved nature to it, so it's not as flat as like the Switch Pro controller, where the front part of where the thumbsticks and the buttons and the D-pad is a little bit more flatter. This actually curves, so when you're holding it, it curves very naturally around just holding it, so definitely I would say, based on just my early impressions, I give the controller an 8.5 or a 9. I'm more leaning towards a 9 just because the quality built on this doesn't seem to be fairly cheap. So it's definitely, they put some effort into at least getting the controller feeling good. The clip, on the other hand, doesn't come inside the controller box. You actually have to, it gets shipped to you on a separate box, so you kind of figure it was an afterthought. Because as most, what I was expecting from Amazon was having it all in one package. But I guess, hey, you know what, it's an early access to it, so maybe they'll change it, in the future. But yeah, so outside of unboxing it, filling it out and everything, I think overall the controller is a very well built controller, a good quality controller. So in the video you'll see here is I'll start to test and clip my Android phone. I also have an iPhone as well too, so I'll kind of play around with just the putting it on the clip and feeling the distribution of weight, and it actually feels really good. There's a good balance, and it's easy to adjust. So the pivots on the actual clip, where there's the pivot points, it's more like just pushing a knob in or button in and then adjusting it. So and then once you release it, it locks into certain positions. So it has preset positions as you adjust the angle of how you're going to mount your mobile device, basically your phone, right? So other than that, I think it's very user friendly. It's really cool. I've in this video you'll see some off-screen footage of Luna streaming onto my mobile device off of Wi-Fi, and again, Luna is available on your PC, so you can actually pair this to your PC as well. And the controller is Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So when you set it up, the way you set it up is you actually have to download the Amazon Luna app. Once you download the Luna app, you can actually follow the instructions, pair the Luna controller to your Amazon account, and it'll ask you for your Wi-Fi password, and it'll connect via Wi-Fi. If you connect via Bluetooth, they're claiming that there's going to be some latency on the controls. But yeah, so I decided to set it up the way they wanted it to, so it's connected to my Wi-Fi. So I just wanted to get the best experience based on their recommendations. And then the middle part of the controller, just like the Xbox controller, where when you press the button it lights up, this thing has like an LED that spins around in a circle. So it definitely looks like a half crescent moon just spinning around in orbit. But yeah, other than that, definitely was really impressed. I wasn't expecting a lot from the controller, but from my opinion, the controller is really good. So yeah, once you go through the Luna app to set up your controller, the interesting part is the way Amazon got around the App Store from streaming games onto the iOS platform is that they did it through web apps. So what you're going to see in my video here is that you have to log in to Amazon on your browser. And then once you go to Amazon on your browser, if you have access to Luna, you can actually navigate to Luna on Amazon.com on the browser. Once you're there, it actually knows that you're viewing it from the browser, and it tells you, you kind of follow some instructions on how to create a home screen, or what would you call it? A kind of like a quick start tile on your home screen. So basically, it's a very simple process. You just hit share. Once you're in the Luna web page, you hit share on your iOS, and then once you hit share, you have an option to create a shortcut or a home tile. So you choose that, and then it throws a home tile right onto your iOS device, and it has the Amazon Luna logo. So yeah, that's how you launch Amazon Luna. And then once you do that, and you hit the shortcut on the app, it actually opens up with the proper scaling and everything. But again, keep in mind, this is through web app, so it's not a native application. It looks like a native application, but it's actually a web apps application. And that's the other thing is you'll see some footage of me playing some games, and that's the one drawback that I know by not having a native app and going through web apps. You will have some issues with latency, and that was the one thing I was worried about, is the what would be the latency on the video streaming, because it's not a native application, right? The Amazon is smart enough to try to get around iOS's rules and regulations regarding what apps are available on their store. And I have a feeling Microsoft already said this is something that they're exploring with Game Pass, because Apple won't allow Game Pass on the iOS device, right? So with the web apps, you'll see some of the footage I took here. I played several games. One, I believe, was Grid, and then the other one was Metro Exodus. So wanted to kind of really stress the Luna service, to see how it would operate, right, with the controller and with the mobile device. And one of the things is what you'll see is that what I found out is that Luna actually streams at 1080p, where Microsoft is streaming at 720p with their xCloud, and they're not looking like they're going to stream higher than 720p until later on when they upgrade their server blades. Amazon Luna, on the other hand, I'm looking at some of the settings and they're streaming at 1080p, and that could be the reason why I ran into a lot of lag, especially in the controls and also in the video aspect of things. So from that standpoint, I think Amazon's shooting a little bit higher, and you can definitely tell. Like I can definitely tell when I was playing these games that the images are slightly sharper, and they're pushing a higher res. But because of the higher res and the higher bit rate, it's causing some issues, and it might not be a very first good impression, right? Especially for cloud gaming. But I can see where Amazon is trying to stress their cloud service as much as they can, because I mean, really, if you think about Game Pass and on Microsoft and Luna on Amazon, is that both Amazon and Microsoft have very good cloud infrastructure. Microsoft with Azure and Amazon with AWS, and I can say that from experience, AWS might be a little bit faster, more efficient, but who knows? But from my testing of Amazon Luna right now on the mobile devices, there is lag. It's not, I wouldn't say it's not a good first impression, especially with like a first-person shooter games that require, a little bit more faster response time. I also played a tennis game on here, and for the tennis game, it was fine. It operated really well. It's going to be a game that doesn't require a lot of fast, pace action. You're moving a character around and you're hitting the buttons. So even if there is lag, you probably are not going to feel it as much as a first-person shooter, where you have a little more freedom to roam around and do more things. So yeah, I think just from early impressions, I think Amazon does have something good here. I think they are shooting for a much higher, setting than Microsoft, and that's why I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing right now with the gameplay and the lag on the mobile device. Now, I've played Luna also on the PC, and I haven't had any issues with lag on my PC. So it could be that my PC is a gaming PC as well too. So I don't know from their cloud infrastructure and their code base how much are they leveraging the hardware to render the cloud gaming, right? So and right now I don't want to compare the PC version versus the mobile version of Luna, but I can tell you right now that the PC version runs a little bit better from just my playtests. And the mobile is a little bit behind, especially behind compared to what I've played on Game Pass and xCloud. But yeah, other than that, I just want to kind of give you guys my first impression. To me, if you guys have followed my channel, you guys know that I'm very interested in Microsoft's business model in terms of how they're setting up Game Pass to be their platform for the future. And when you talk about other cloud competitors coming in to compete against Microsoft and Game Pass, Stadia did not have the same business model. So I don't really see Stadia as a very comparable competitor to Microsoft's Game Pass and xCloud. Amazon, on the other hand, is taking the same business model that Microsoft's building, but they're just adding a little bit of a twist, right? So right now I'm testing Luna out, and it's an introductory price of $5.99 a month. So I'm okay paying that $6. It's not going to break the bank here on my end, but it'll be interesting to see once they get out of this testing early evaluation phase, what the actual cost of Luna is going to be for the general consumer market, right? And the reason why I state that is because it is definitely in the lines of what Microsoft is trying to do with Game Pass, which is have a library of games that gamers can get access to and play right away. One thing Amazon doesn't have is they don't have the library. That's the reason why Microsoft went out there and also purchased Bethesda, because they want to have that huge library of games for gamers to kind of fall back on as they bring out new content, right? So you want to have that library, and then you bring out new content at a steady pace. That's really how streaming services out there do. It's not about the new releases, and the new releases will bring new business into your subscription base, but it's the library, it's the content. And in gaming, we know there's so much competition out there, third parties, so there's a lot of costs involved into licensing games to be placed into some type of a cloud gaming subscription. So that's why Microsoft knows that as much as they will pay third parties license fees to get those games on Game Pass, if they own the properties themselves, they don't need to pay a license fee. And the idea is to build up a library big enough that keeps the casual gamer engaged in their service, right? Because there's no way anyone's going to be able to play hundreds of games within a short period of time. I mean, for me, I still have a ton of physical games that are on my back catalog that I haven't even been able to go through to finish, right? So really it's about options. And Amazon is the only competitor right now throwing their hat into the ring that competes against Microsoft when it comes to Game Pass. Now, one thing Amazon's doing a little bit different is that it looks like they have this introductory tier where they will have a number of games, not as much right now compared to Microsoft, but hopefully that'll grow over time. But the other thing that they're selling within their subscription-based model are what they call premium channels. So these premium channels right now one is for Ubisoft. I'm pretty sure the other one will eventually be EA. And the way they're trying to build this out, which is very interesting, is if you think about it, Ubisoft, EA, they have their own subscription service. So Amazon's basically telling them, hey, put those services into our services and let us utilize our huge customer base that we can reach with and get them to get subscribed to your service. But they're going to do it under the Amazon umbrella, which is very unique and very different than the way Microsoft is doing Game Pass. But overall, the premise of having just a collection of games available based off of a subscription service is the same. So it's going to be interesting to see. In my personal opinion, from a business perspective, the way Amazon has tried to tackle Netflix with their Amazon Video, and they've thrown it into Prime. I have a feeling that the Luna with Amazon Luna, if they don't have any good tractions with the gaming customer base, that they just might throw Luna into the Amazon Prime subscription as a base package that's just free to all their Amazon Prime members. And then all of a sudden now all these members have access to Amazon Luna, but it's like the basic package, right, with maybe 20 or 30 games and a couple of new ones here or there that they might scatter over time. And then once they're in the ecosystem, which is free, then they can say, okay, well, if you want Ubisoft and EA, here's how much it'll cost to add Ubisoft to it, or here's how much it'll cost to add EA, maybe Activision, maybe CD Projekt Red, whatever they strike a deal with. And then from there, they can offer multiple discount deals if somebody decides to go for the full premium package with access to all those individual channels, right? So it's a definitely interesting approach. It's going to be interesting to see how Amazon is going to, whether they succeed or not on this. But I wouldn't count them out. They have a ton of money. They have very smart business people there that are willing to invest. And when they see an opportunity and a market to capture, they are going to put a lot of effort into that. So the fact that Luna is the closest thing to Game Pass really tells me that Amazon could be in it for the long run. What's going to be interesting is with all the consolidation that's happening right now with Microsoft purchasing studios, Sony locking in a couple of their own first or second party studios. It'll be interesting to see how this all unfolds from a subscription-based model. I'll save that for another video for another day to discuss the actual business side of a subscription model, and how if Nintendo or Sony decides to join in the ring, that it would actually be good for us as gamers. And I think Sony is hinting towards that. They have PlayStation Now, but it's really not in the vein of what Game Pass is, but they can definitely make it and shape PlayStation Now into a Game Pass competitor, and I'll give you my thoughts on that in another video. But this video is just really more focused on Amazon Luna and just quick impressions, some quick discussions on the service, and hopefully this helps for you guys thinking about trying Luna out. You know, and if you guys have any questions, post comments down below. I'd love to answer them. You know, hit like if you like the content of my video, hit dislike if you don't like, because I want to know what kind of content you like me to kind of create. You know, like I said, I do this for fun. I have a full-time job, so I do this on my spare time, and I do this so that I can engage with the gaming community and I can talk to them and give them some insights, right? So again, my first impression, if you guys are new here, you know, help me and subscribe. It gives me ideas on, you know, how, you know, the type of people that I'm reaching, you know, how many people I'm reaching, and you know, I'm all about creating content to benefit you guys and to fill you in on some information and things that I'm seeing that the other people might not be able to have the opportunity to do so. So yeah, so feel free and post your comments down below, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. And other than that, guys, just have a great day. Keep gaming. Enjoy your games. I hope you guys are having a great time. It's been a crazy year with a lot of things happening, so I hope that you guys are staying safe out there, that you guys are, you know, just escaping from reality and playing some really cool games that are out there, man. You know, whether it's the new systems out there with the PlayStation 5 or the Series X, or even the old games. I mean, I play a lot of retro games and a lot of older games. Again, there's so many options out there. Just enjoy, have fun, and I'll talk to you guys next time. All right, take care.